right, I hope you can hear me, relatives. I want to say, Dayan Yahipi. I'm glad to see you back. It's good to see you. I'm going to do a reading out of today's book, the Meditation with the Native American Elders today for July 13th. Let me make sure that I have the right page here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I have no idea what the reading is going to say today, relatives. None, not even a clue. But we'll go ahead and get started with the virtual smudge in act of prayer. And also the smudging, obviously, we know that it does have the capabilities to cleanse an area and definitely bring a more positive attitude or more positive energy, and kind of centers a lot of people, and certainly that's true as well. Apparently it has scientifically speaking, it does have the properties to actually purify an area as well, or kill bacteria that's in the air. So I guess I can't quote those studies, or nor will I even try. I just want to get to the reading. I don't want to take too much of your time today, because these videos are unedited. It's just the way that it has to be for now, relatives, and maybe when I get around to the editing and learning how to do those types of things on YouTube, and then maybe I'll get into those. So I apologize if it seems like I'm going on and on and on. So I'll try not to do that. But I am from the Ihanktawan people, the Yankton Sioux people, and so this is going to be a book, excuse me, that says meditation with the Native American elders. And so these readings come from the elders, but they're meant for everybody. So I hope that you're able to relate. And I get a lot of people who attend some of my talking circles who say, I'm non-native. Is it okay if I'm here? I'm not indigenous. But I like it here. Is that all right? And I always just say, man, please feel welcome to be here. You are absolutely welcome in the circle here. We want you to feel like a relative. And so in our Lakota and Dakota ways, we say Mitakuye Oyasni, which means we are all related. And that's the spirit that I want to bring to these type of readings. So if you do have those questions and you wonder about it, just know that the energy behind these readings is that type of philosophy, that type of way of life. Okay? So we'll go ahead and go with the readings. Again, I have no idea what it's going to say, so I'm really putting myself on the spot. Maybe I'll just fumble and bumble my way through this reading. I have no idea, but I'm going to give it a shot. And that's the purpose behind this, is that I do want to get put on the spot. I do want to have a sense of uncomfortability outside of my comfort zone when I do these type of things, because that's just a goal of mine. Let's just put it that way. So July 13th, Grandfather, Great Spirit, once more behold me on earth and learn to hear my feeble voice. You lived first, and you are prayer. You are the life of all things. Great Spirit, sometimes I don't feel like praying. Sometimes when I have done something wrong, I'm ashamed to come to you. Even though you have always been there for me, I sometimes choose to stay away. It's hard for me to understand what all-knowing is. Sometimes it's hard for me to see how much you really care. But I know if I take a few minutes and think about what I know to be true about you, then things change, and I am able to realize your power and your love. Today, I'll start by thinking of you. I'll think about you all the time. You have helped and guided me in the past. You are life. You are love. You are power. You are desire. You are truth. You are principle. You are intelligence. You are courage. With you, I am everything. Without you, I am nothing. Creator, thank you for allowing me to start my day with you. Holy smokes, that's a long one. That talks about praying, and obviously, it's like from a perspective of talking to the Creator and saying, look, well, I'll just share. For a long time, relatives, I had given up on prayer too. There was a lot of reasons for that, and one of the reasons for that was it scared me. That was one of the reasons, because there was language within a certain religion that scared me, and it really scared me to where I didn't want to even say those type of words. But then later on, what happened was, when things were really going wrong, I kind of grew up in such a way where life was very, very challenging at first. Our family has come a long ways to learn about forgiveness, to learn about what our spirituality, or however you want to say it, is. Religion, spirituality. I like to use the term spirituality. We've come a long ways. So when I bring that up, it's not with the energy of blaming. It's just factual. And I would love to take a lot more time to share, to go even deeper into that. But I'm just going to share my personal viewpoint on that reading, my perspective, and I better get going, otherwise I'm going to forget about what the reading actually said. But it really talks about the struggle daily, or momentarily, or throughout your day, to believe or to stay in contact, to pray. And I've been through my challenges, because it seems like, and no doubt about it, as soon as I came into this world, from the spirit world, and was born into this world, it was a struggle. And back then, it was illegal, literally, I'm not kidding you, it was illegal to practice our Native American, our indigenous religions. I'll just use that, I'll just say religions, but it really is a way of life. It's a way of life. So religion is a English word, and it's one that I don't particularly like to use, because it kind of comes with a lot of misunderstandings behind it, or a lot of confusion. A lot of people don't really like that term. Some people do, a lot of people do, so I'm just trying to do the best I can here, relatives. But back then it was very, very difficult to be who I am, because legally it was illegal to be who I was. Legally it was illegal to be who I was, meaning our people couldn't practice our religion, our spirituality. So that really affected us, and that really affected our self-esteem. And I mean, people were getting arrested, people were getting killed, people were getting sent to prison, people were being viewed as insane when they weren't. And so people were really becoming institutionalized. And certainly on a regular basis, our people were subject to abuse in all factions of what abuse means. If you can think about what the term abuse means, it can mean a lot of different things, but our people were really subject to that, because the belief back then was, well, they believe like this, and it's illegal for them to be who they are, so we're going to be viewed as somewhat as less than. And so what I saw growing up was, and what I heard on TV, and the message that I got, that was interconnected with the message that I was being told by my peers, it just seemed like every faction, and maybe it wasn't every faction, but pretty much socially it was. Okay, if you can think of small town South Dakota, many years ago, many winters ago, I'm not gonna age myself, but it was many winters ago. Things have certainly changed. but it did have a long-lasting effect on how I viewed myself and what I viewed as prayer, what I viewed as spirituality, what I viewed as religion, in respect that I shied away from it. Not only did I shy away from it, I was scared of it, because even to this day, I still don't really understand, but it's no disrespect to the religions. People say that I'm God-fearing, and I don't really kind of get that concept. I don't really understand that, because I've never been around organized religion long enough to really know what that means. God-fearing, I hear people say that, and I wonder, well, why would any God or great spirit want you to be afraid of them? I never understood that, and I still don't. And it just doesn't come up to where I actually have that opportunity to ask that question. So if you do understand that, feel free to comment. And if that's something that helps you in your own life, this isn't a judgment. This is just me talking and sharing. I don't understand that, because to me, the way that I was taught, now that I've started, a long time ago, I made a switch. I said, I got to do something. There's something to my life that is missing. Wow, there was a lot to my life that was missing. But one of the key things that I realized for myself that was missing was prayer. And there was something there that I didn't judge myself from, but I just came to the point that I said, I think I need to try something different, because at that point, because of, historically speaking, what I was telling you about, but not only my own experience, but also the generations prior to me. So it was somewhat, it kind of snowballed into my own experience. And my own experience was, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, or no matter how good I can be, no matter how good of a boy I'm going to be, I'm going downstairs. When it's all said and done, I'm going downstairs. And in our Lakota and Dakota, Ocheti Shakowin, we don't believe in a hell. We don't believe in that. We just don't believe in that. And so that was something that I was afraid of at a very young age, and I heard it all the time. I mean, the movies that were on TV, and by the prayers that I was being taught, I was like, what I was hearing about me personally, since it was illegal and it was bad to be who I was as far as an indigenous Native American person, that was just made me really just scared. It really had a long-lasting impact. And so I didn't grow up that way. I learned to rely solely upon myself. And of course, I was a youngster, and that's leaving a lot out. And what that looked like was that I was very shy. I shied away from social situations that I really wanted to be a part of. I shied away from relationships that I really wanted to be in my life. I shied away from parts of me that it really snowballed, like I said, into something that I didn't think that I would ever become that type of person. Hence, why I would eventually become a drug addict and alcoholic. I'm in recovery now, nor relatives, this isn't an anti-drug or anti-alcohol message. I'm just telling my story. And that's why I think it was so appealing once I started to do those type of things, or once I was getting in trouble, I would at least have the self-esteem of being able to do something well. I received the approval of others that also did that. And certainly within that aspect of society, shall I say, you didn't pray and you didn't talk about those type of things. I just think we all kind of had similar experiences, and we were all sort of outcasts. We were all had similar upbringings and similar backgrounds. Yeah, there were differences, but I think that we sort of gravitated towards each other, and we subconsciously just did that. So prayer in the whole God and higher business was a very touchy subject for a long time, and one that I didn't want to be a part of, because again, I was going back to the old message of, well, no matter what I do, no matter how good I am, people aren't going to like me because I'm native. So I began to really just have absolutely no trust for other people. And of course, trust, if you look at, what is that, Maslow's hierarchy of values, however you want to see it, if you just look at what is necessary to become or to feel, to grow, to learn, to love, trust is going to be one of them. Excuse me. Same with honesty. Same with relationships. And also spirituality would probably be on there as well, depending, or religion. And so I was missing a lot. And it just got to a point where I couldn't even see what I was missing, but certainly there was a big space that I felt. And for me personally, I tried to fill that space with, I'm going to deny my own identity as an indigenous person. I'm going to deny that, because that's what was hoping I would receive the approval of society. And it got to a point where even, that wasn't good enough, and certainly didn't fit right, because I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, and I was walking away from the person that I actually was by no fault of my own. I take responsibility for it, relatives, but historically speaking, even if you're non-native, if you look at the facts and if you look at the experience, you'll find that maybe you'll get to this place where you can walk through and start to understand. It really had to get ugly before or while I was going through this real sacred change of, I can't live like this no more. And so it was a very sacred time. It didn't feel sacred, man. It was very difficult, relatives. It was very, very difficult. But I did come to that place where I did need something outside of myself, because I shared that I felt like I could only rely on myself. And I know that a lot of people have this experience as well, that I'm not alone. You're not alone, relatives. You are not alone. If that's how you feel, if that's how you were raised, you are not alone. And so that's the way things were. It was a really long journey to this point where I'm at now, where I'm still very, very, what I do have now when it comes to my prayer life, when it comes to how I have evolved and how I have changed, I keep it pretty guarded, because there are a lot of factions and there are a lot of people out there that still believe that I would be better off if I would do things the way that they did things. And so the main thing is that I don't believe that. Is I have now definitely I have a very healthy sense of self. And what I have found out too is that there was a lot of damage done through that really toxic judgmentalism that was directed towards me, that I then became a part of my own identity, and subconsciously and often consciously would repeat those cycles of talk. I would start to believe those things about myself as well. And of course, subconsciously, whatever you believe, you're going to do. Whatever you believe consciously, that's the way that you are going to be about yourself. And so that's why I really love talking circles and love these type of conversations, because we really do get down to that. We really do go inside. And so I'm really grateful for that. And so today, I would consider myself, I mean, I honestly believe in prayer. Relatives, I do. I pray all the time. I love to pray with other people. And it's become a big part of my life. But definitely I would call it spirituality before I would ever refer to it as religion. And that's just my style, the way that I like to do things, and I still have this tendency to keep that place very sacred. But we've come a long way, and what I have recognized now is a lot of people feel that way too, is that they are discovering the value of prayer and of their own personal journey, their own personal walk, their evolution. If they can look back and they can see how they've changed, they start to begin to see and identify through their own perspective the missing pieces and maybe the origin of that. It's like a journey going back so that we can go forward. Now I'm thinking in cyclical terms, because if you've been conditioned to believe in black and white or 1, 2, 3, 4, that's really going to sort of have this persuasion what is right or what is wrong, when there is so much open space. There is so much room for you. There is so much room for me. There is so much room for everybody. And so I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I still got these rough edges on me, relatives, that sometimes I wish I could do better. Sometimes I wish I was better. But those are the things that I can at least identify now, whereas before it was, I don't even know what's wrong with me. I just know I don't belong here. And if I leave, I'm going downstairs, so I'm kind of stuck here, and I can't do anything good enough. So what happened is I not only started to resent myself, and that resentment got really big and big, but I started to resent society. I started to resent people. I started to resent, and I didn't even know these people, but I was going off of old information. And yes, that old information is still strong out there amongst a lot of people, and still being passed down. There are people who really think, who are teaching their children that I need to be like them, and if not, then I'm less than, or I'm etc., etc., etc. That's very real, and I know that to be a fact. But I'm here to speak about, be very open about all these type of things. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful that I know that there's this spiritual energy, this force within every single one of us. But sometimes we've just been conditioned to not believe that, and to believe that it is outside of ourselves, or what is within is less than when without. And so for myself, I know what that's like, very much so. I still struggle in some areas with that personally, just depending on the day. It's just a matter of day to day, daily to daily. But I do know and believe in love. I do believe in spirituality. I do believe in change. I do believe in forgiveness. But I do believe, because that's my story, I do believe that there's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of judgmentalism. There's other fancy words to describe that. But I right now I'm kind of thinking that I'm running out of time because I have something that I'm already late for. It's not the most important thing though, but now my mind is sort of preoccupied. But one thing that I do believe, and I've had been struggling, and again, relatives, I do struggle with low self-esteem sometimes. I do struggle with my personal value as far as relationships. I mean, God darn it, I love my family so much There's no doubt about it that I've learned how to have relationships and let people in, and definitely learn how to have pride, a sense of pride and a sense of value of who I am as an indigenous person. Matter of fact, we're seeing a lot of non-native people come to us for come to our ways. I mean, we're seeing an increase in that as well. So that has also helped too, because other people have saw value in me. The main thing is though, is I have value in this day. God made me creator, Tunkashala, the grandmas and grandpas. If I am made in the way that they were, and if you look at the historically speaking, you'll see pictures and we look just alike. Yes, I am them. They are me. And something was stripped away from them. Something was stolen from them. Not just land, not just resources, but identity. A sense of value, principles, spirit. And I just really feel thankful that I'm in this situation today where as I learn and evolve and have this acceptance, and not only this acceptance, but this great love for our people, for you, for people, and especially for people who have been through similar, whether you're non-native or not, because I know the damage that it does to the person, to the soul, to the spirit. And we question that over and over and over again. And if we would have received these type of teachings a long time ago, we'd be much further ahead. But in this 24 hours, with all that love, that measurement, that tool of measurement, the way that we compare with everybody else, that measurement doesn't exist. In this 24 hours, with these type of principles, love, self-acceptance, but also don't forget about forgiveness, because we've made mistakes along the way. But remember, we were misinformed. We were given wrong information. We were giving damaging information that was meant to harm us, that was meant to shrink us down, that was purposeful, intentional, to make us feel bad about ourselves. Remember that. And that can have a long-lasting effect, even today. And it certainly has for me. I know that. I'm open about it. If you're a single woman out there who once has reached out and who understands that I have my sharp edges and I have a hard time, but I'm trustworthy, I'm honest, I'm still got a long ways to go, but I'll tell you what, thank God, thank to Wakantaka, Pilamayapalo, the grandmas and grandpas, the great spirits all around. Oh man, there's so much love, relatives, so much love. And see that even that word prayer, we don't have that word in our Dakota way, because back then it was a way of life. We didn't doubt, we didn't fear. We knew that there were higher powers, shall I say, that existed, but only that they existed in such a way that oftentimes as humans we couldn't see them, but we believed in them. We believed in them, and we believed in that experience, because in our ceremonies and in our daily lives, they always showed themselves. They were always around. And sometimes they would actually show up in spiritual form. And so today, that is what I believe. That is my experience. That is my daily. And prayer kind of makes it sound like something that it almost kind of has a separation. And if I say a prayer, then I become connected. We've been conditioned to believe that. Well, the the belief, the old belief and the old way was we were never separate from prayer. We were never separate from that which is holy, that which is spiritual. There was never a separation in the first place. But what happened historically speaking came along, and English language came along, and then it made it seem that we needed to be a good boy. We needed to look a certain way. We need to do, when we in fact were the prayer all along. In other words, we needed to just be us. And now today, I'm being me and my rawest. When mistakes happen, when something is beautiful, when something is very difficult, when something, the prayer definitely helps. But what happens is, as we develop our prayer life, we start to feel that it becomes a very natural. We become that prayer, and that helps us with our rough edges and helps us heal, helps us see who we really are. It brings us closer together, and we're just getting started. That is just the start. And so if you think about what I was talking about earlier and now what I'm talking about now, it is a cyclical. These conversations need to continue to happen. They will continue to happen. We will form these type of circles, and they are all inclusive. Because if I said, you're non-native, what are you doing here? Guess what? I'm doing what was done to us. And so we are at a time though when a lot of non-natives are coming, and they're wanting to be a part of us so bad that there are some boundaries though that need to be respected. I see a lot of people violating those boundaries, and it's hard sometimes to understand or what to say or what to do, but we are still moving in such a direction. And I don't want to say this way or that way, because this is an expansion from all directions. This includes everything within inside of us, everything that is around us, we are a part of. And that is spirit. That is prayer. We are living prayer. And when we actually pray and use words, we feel that expansion. We feel that inclusivity. That meaning everybody is welcome. Everybody is loved. We don't want to leave anybody out. And so I believe in prayer. I say prayer. I love to sing prayer songs. I love to pray. My brother and I pray all the time together, and that's really just absolutely something that I absolutely love. But I also pray a lot with other people within talking circles. I have a whole new viewpoint on prayer, and it has really helped within this 24 hours and within my lifetime. So I'm going to let you go so I can get to this next thing. All right, I'm going to be honest. It's a basketball game. Relatives, it's a basketball game. So I've been looking forward to it, though. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to subscribe and share my page. Appreciate all the support I can. This will go on YouTube, so if you're watching it from one medium or multimedia source, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to thumbs up. Please feel free to share and subscribe. I'm trying to get this thing going. I've been doing this now on another media platform, but I'm bringing it to YouTube as far as that long-term goal. Anyways, relatives, I wish you a wonderful day. Please feel free to reach out if you want to have a discussion that may help you or you can help me. My number is 605-491-0200, 605-491-0200. And on my page, I do have my um, email address if somebody's ever interested. I do cultural presentations, educational presentations, both professionally and personally, but I also have done speaking engagements in the past as well. I'm getting into art and stuff like that too, but you know what? I just want to make sure if wherever I go, whether I'm doing a painting, whether I'm doing a talk, or whether you and I are having a spiritual conversation, that we bring prayer into that. Uh, but anyways, I will talk to you again soon. Hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. Just being you, relatives. You are the prayer. You are the miracle. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not. And if somebody did and you believed it, forgive yourself for believing that and turn this thing around, because if I can, I know you can, and definitely we can. All right. I'll see you soon.